everybody, it's Doug Green, and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and I'm very pleased to have with me today Alex Quilici, who's the CEO of YouMail. Alex, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on.
So we're doing a special podcast for the Cloud Communications Alliance, CCA, and Technology Reseller News, TR Publications. And the headline is YouMail has launched the National Spam Reporting Center. So what is that?
So let me give you a little backstory. The idea is that we want to have a single place that consumers can go to report spam or scam attempts where something's going to happen with it. Right now, the problem if you're a consumer, let's say somebody impersonates a bank, what do you do about it? Like, you want to tell the world, but who do you tell? Do you do star spam on your phone because it was a text message? Do you go to the FCC or FTC website? Do you try to go to your bank and try to find some part of your bank where you can talk to customer support and say, they tried to scam me? We thought consumers need a single place they can go to where it's super easy to actually go and do this report. And it comes from us seeing people, like I get emails from all my friends whenever there's a scam attempt. They shouldn't be emailing me. They need a place to go. We have other people at YouMail said the same thing. I don't even know where I report this. It's a partner of YouMail. Well, I'll just tell, I work here, I can tell somebody. But if it's not, what do we do? So it was really an idea to have a single place. It's called spamreporters.com. Super easy for consumers to remember it. They go to the website, they just do a screenshot, hit a button, done. Right? So it's a very simple way to do these reports. And the really key thing is we act on them. If we know who the carrier is that has that number, we can just send something to the carrier saying, look, here's evidence of a problem. You need to shut down the number that did this. If it's our partners, we can do more. If it's our financial partners, we can show them, hey, look, there's more stuff out there that you're not even aware of. And so it's trying to just have a one-stop shop for everybody to do the spam reports.
Now, and give me that URL again.
It's spamreporters.com.
And there's something here for everyone, it sounds like. So let's start with actually the person reporting the abuse. How are they benefiting from this?
So a lot of times consumers want to report abuse. They want to do something. They actually, they think, hey, someone's trying to abuse me. They're going to go and try to abuse someone else. I'd love to have somebody be aware of this and do something about it. Where it benefits them is they've made that decision. I'd like to tell the world, well, how? Right? Instead of them having to figure out 5 different places to go, I got to tell my carrier, I got to tell Apple, I got to tell Google, I got to tell my bank, I got to tell the government, tell us. We'll take care of making sure the right people know about it. And so it dramatically simplifies the process for a consumer to report something bad that happened to them.
Now, meanwhile, that data, the information about that activity, then it's a benefit to other people as well.
It is, because if let's say a consumer says, here's a Walmart impersonation scam, since those are in the news today, right? We can actually go and talk to the carrier and say, the carrier that sourced that, you just put this Walmart campaign, robocall campaign or robotexting fraud campaign on the network. You should be able to take it off, right? Get rid of it. So it's data that we can supply to the carriers. In other cases, when carriers are our customer, it gets combined with all the other data we have, which helps us become more effective in trying to shut it down. And so that's the core thing here is action can actually take place. So it's going to benefit the carriers because they can stop doing this. It benefits for the banks and the e-commerce companies and everybody else because those things start getting shut down more and faster.
Alex, before we started our podcast today, your team shared with me some kind of very interesting, I don't want to call them use cases, I guess really examples of what's going on out there. So, for example, there was an incident that occurred with a health insurance campaign.
Well, there's actually the two things that are driving everybody crazy right now in the consumer world are the loan things, the pre-approved loans.
Oh, right. Yeah.
$1,000 or $60,000. There's been some actions on those. There's a carrier shut down that was putting a big chunk of those on, so that's helped a bit. And then the other one are all these things related to insurance. There's Medicare scams, there's health insurance problems. And so there's just tons of that stuff. And sometimes it's really hard to know what's real and what's not. And so consumer data is saying, this is a scam. I'm not 65 and I'm getting something wrong with my Medicare plan. Okay, that's really a helpful piece of data. And that allows us to actually protect other consumers with YouMail and all the carriers who use our services, because, hey, that thing we didn't know if it was real or not, it's really clear it's not real. It should be blocked.
And this is particularly acute for vulnerable adults, what you just mentioned. There's so many people out there that, I mean, they have a cell phone and they're getting texts. How do they have difficulty discerning real from not real?
So that's a really interesting problem, right? Because there are scammers out there that are specializing in targeting older adults. And in fact, we've even seen a recent court case where a data broker was selling information about Alzheimer's patients to the scammers, which is, the people who are probably least able to protect themselves, right? So the thing is, not all older adults fall into that category. Plenty of them are aware it's a scam and they want to do something. And that's who we really want to address first, is give them a simple place to send that report. Like, for example, it's a health insurance thing. Where do I go? Who do I tell that there was a health insurance scam, right? Or a pre-approved loan. Is it the SEC, the FTC? Like, I have no idea. Just remember spam reporters. Want everybody to be a spam reporter. Spamreporters.com. Put the info in. It'll help. Right? Just remember the one place.
And this sort of really matches the spirit of our time, where, the so-called citizen reporter. In other words, in the era of social media, one of the, it has some bad things, but one of the good things is we're all witnesses, right? So we're, when something happens visually, everyone's there with their phone and the videos. In a sense, what you've done is you've created that, but on the something that's not so visible, which is a spam call.
Well, what we've done is we've created a place to put that information that's super easy to remember, super easy to use, and is likely to get acted on. One of the biggest problems people have when there's a crime being committed, whether it's a bad text or something else, is, what do I do? How do I tell anybody? Right? And we wanted to solve that problem. You just have to remember one thing. It doesn't matter if it's a text. It doesn't matter if it's a call. It doesn't matter if it's an email pretending to be a security company and saying you have a subscription that's expired. You did anything. Just screenshot it, put it here. We've built a back end that can take all that data and actually do stuff with it. Recognize, hey, we got all these same spam reports that look like this from this set of numbers. Oh, it's this carrier. Okay, let's act on it. And we get all these different things and can put them together. And I think that's the key. It's, you want to remember one place and you want to know that someone's taking action.
Yeah, Alex, at the same time, I think you mentioned this in just a few minutes ago. Something like half of all robocall volumes are scams. Is that true?
I think half of all robocall volume is unwanted, right?
Unwanted.
There are things that aren't scams. For example, there's a ton of calls that are basically someone put information in for an insurance quote. They click the little button somewhere, and somewhere buried in the terms of service says, we have the right to call and text you, for more info. Now they get 100 calls. Those aren't scams, but they're certainly unwanted. Our best guess is maybe 10-15% of all robocalls are just true outright scams, and another 20-25% are sketchy. And there's a small amount of legitimate telemarketing where someone got permission, got consent, they're calling you just a few times and behaving like you'd want someone to.
Now, another thing your team shared with me was about the behavior of legitimate businesses making legitimate attempts to call people that resemble some of these problems. So is that coming up?
That is coming up. So here's the problem a lot of businesses face. Let's say you're trying to send out alerts about a medical appointment.
Right.
If you call somebody and their phone pops up with spam likely, the odds of them answering are near zero, right? And none of us are going to go answer a likely spam or likely scam. Right. So there's tons of businesses that rely on communicating with their consumers, but when they try to communicate with the consumer, it's mislabeled, or at least the business would argue it's mislabeled. The consumer would argue it's mislabeled. And so, what do we do about that? Well, if you're a business, what you're going to do is go, well, if I'm calling with this number, it doesn't get through. I need to call from a lot of different numbers and hope that some of them get through. That's what the bad guys do. The bad guys go get 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 numbers and call a small number of times from each number, hoping nobody notices and some of them get through. The good guys are doing the same thing. It's crazy. And that used to make them look to us like they were scammers, right? It was just very obvious snowshoeing technique. And we get some spam reports about, it's like, okay, it seems like it's bad. Turned out it wasn't. When we looked at them in more detail, at least some of them are perfectly, they're the car dealer calling about your service appointment.
Right.
It's stuff you actually want. And so that to me is one of the crazier things that, you know, the bad guys used a technique. The carriers tried to label the bad guys. That they are actually mislabeling, so the good guys get caught up. Now the good guys are using the bad guy technique. It's not making progress.
And so your feeling is that by launching this service, by launching this program, we're going to take a big step towards righting this wrong, essentially.
I think we're going to be able to move faster because we're not a bureaucracy. We have a ton of relationships. We can move really, really quickly. We've got a lot of data that a lot of other folks don't have. You put all that together, we can actually move the solution along more quickly. Like, I love the FCC and the FTC, but if you complain to them, they're going to aggregate the data. Over time, they're going to look and see, this is the problem. Let's find out more about it. And eventually they go and shut down the carrier. They do some really meaningful, big enforcement action. But what happens in the meantime? We want to try to help out in the meantime before the carriers, you know, do all their investigation, before the FCC does, before everybody else. How can we speed this up a bit and just have less damage? We're under no illusion we're going to stop the whole problem, but can we lessen the damage?
Well, Alex, I really want to thank you for joining me today. There's so much to talk about, but thank you for basically telling us about this new service. I guess we should put it up there again for everyone to see. And when we have that up there, where can people learn more about spamreporters.com, and where can people learn more about YouMail?
So they can just go to spamreporters.com. It talks about what to do and what happens there. And there's a little link on that page that says this is, you know, brought to you by YouMail. And you click YouMail, you learn a lot more about us on our website. But the quick summary is YouMail is a company that tries to protect your phone number. If you're a consumer, you download our app. We try to do our best to block spam, scams, all the rest of it. If for some reason we don't, you tell us you made a mistake. That's like reporting spam, right? It's another piece of data we can use. And the other half of YouMail is working with carriers and banks and other large companies to stop all the impersonation scams and get them shut down. So YouMail is both. We're protecting the phone number at the end. When it gets to a phone, we try to protect your phone number by shutting off the scams at the start.
Well, Alex, thank you very much indeed for joining me today on behalf of Cloud Communications, CCA, and TR Publications. We'll look forward to the next one. I'll look forward to hearing how this is rolling out. But for now, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.